This is Reginald Gillens, Senior of the Glacier Peak Robotics Club in Snohomish, Washington. Today's date is the 18th of September 2008, and I'm just doing this this online video to show what we've been able to do with the application called LabView. Reginald Jr., myself, and Cindy Hahn attended a training session in Bellevue, Washington over this past weekend, and we learned different tips and techniques about how to use LabView, and they pointed us to a place where we can go and get the download eval copy. So this is just to kind of show what we've been able to implement with that eval copy so far, and to demo how easy it is to use. So we're going to launch our version of LabView here, and I believe somewhere in here there is, yes, Glacier Peak Robotics 915. So on 915, which was a couple of days ago, Reginald Jr. Began to just kind of work on our home computer and install some of the components and elements that LabView offers. And he came up with this right here, which is very similar to what we learned in the classroom. This is what you call a front control or a front panel, and on it there's a knob, and this is arbitrary in this degree and scale, but Reginald decided to take it to this to these parameters. And then there's this chart that actually allows you to display the results of the inputs from this knob. This is a Boolean control here, which is basically an on and off switch, and this is another Boolean control, which is a slider switch. So this is a knob, this is a display. Now we can actually tile this here to show what we have in the way of, oh gosh, I forgot what the name of it is, but it'll come up as soon as I pop it up here. Block diagram. There we go. So the block diagram is adjacent to the front panel. They work hand in hand. And in a nutshell, what has gone on here is when Reginald created the knob here, it actually creates the graphical display version of that knob here on the block diagram. And here's the display, or the waveform chart is what it's officially called, and that is here. So these items here are not connected yet, but these two are. So after Reginald created this knob, this appears. After he created this waveform chart, this appears over here. Then what he had to do was to go and connect or wire these two elements together. And we're going to demonstrate now how you can observe the inputs of the application while it's running. This is actually in a complete program, and we will demonstrate here now how you can observe the inputs and outputs on the screen here. The inputs being the controller and the output being the indicator. I know it's kind of tricky in terms of what we're accustomed to learning in C programming, but again, a controller is your input and an indicator is your output. So instead of just plain inputs and outputs language, LabView uses the concept of controllers, as this knob is, and indicators, as this display is, or this waveform chart is. Now I could easily change the descriptions on these, but because this is our very first front panel and block diagram configuration, I decided to not mess with that. And at least it should show you. Let's see here. It try that. Interesting. Yeah. So now it's running. We see the logic of the program flowing through the wire here. This is not electricity, it's just a demonstration of the logic through the program. You can imagine this would be very helpful in a case where you had a number of different knobs and or components or controllers going on and different applications going throughout the program. So we're going to change the gain here. Going to take it up a little bit, see what happens. So there's a little jump. We're continuing to run the application. Very nice. And then let's take it down a little bit. Let's take it down to about 3,000. See what happens then. So you can see what's happening with the wave chart now as we continue to run through that application. Now, if this were a loop and we saw that the program was running over and over again, that would show probably some different aspects. I think there's a do while loop here. Here's a run continuously. Interesting. So let's try that and see what happens. Okay, so it's continuing to run. Can we rotate that? Oh, nice. So we're taking it up a little bit. Notice that the application is still running here. The logic is going throughout the application. And take it up just a little bit more. Nice. Isn't that interesting? So that's how you run a LabVIEW application. This is Reginald Gillens of Glacier Peaks Robotics signing out.